Today we're going to show you how to maintain your pre-lit tree using the Lightkeeper Pro. A pre-lit tree will give you years of enjoyment, but in the event a string of light goes out, the Lightkeeper Pro will get you back up and running quickly. The most common reason a light set fails is because a bulb burns out, preventing electricity from flowing through the rest of the set. When that happens, this little backup device called a shunt is supposed to close, allowing the power to continue flowing to the rest of the bulbs. But that does not always happen. So the Lightkeeper Pro can be used to activate the backup shunt and light the rest of the set. First, we're going to focus on one unlit set towards the bottom of the tree. When attempting to fix any set, always start by using the quick fix trigger. So here's a set at the bottom of the tree, and we're going to remove one unlit bulb, and we're going to insert our socket connector into the socket firmly. We're going to pull the trigger up to 30 times. The average is 7. Watch for any flickering bulbs, because a flickering bulb is a bulb that we're trying to repair. There we go. Now you'll notice the light set is lit that was previously unlit. And if you look over here, this is the bulb that was creating the problem right here. It's unlit, and now we know which bulb to replace. The Lightkeeper Pro's quick fix trigger will not fix every problem. It may be a different type of problem, possibly a loose bulb, twisted wire, or broken bulb. For that, we like to use our audible voltage detector built into the tip of the Lightkeeper Pro. I'm going to demonstrate on the tree behind me. We've used a bungee cord to hold up the branches, which is a convenient way for you to just be able to see where you're working. And we've added some white cardboard also, just so you can see the wires that I'm dealing with. So to activate, we're going to push down this black button on top of the gun. You'll hear a single beep, and you'll see the red light is on to tell us that it is activated. Now continue to hold it down. I'm going to reach over and I'm going to hold this against one of the wires going to this first branch. And I'm going to listen to see if there's a continuous beeping sound. There is. That means there's current in that wire going to this branch. Now I'm going to check the wire leaving that branch. Also there's current. So this branch is not my problem. Power went in and left this branch without no issues. Now we check the next branch. Power in. I check over here. No power has left this branch. This particular branch is the source of the problem. And now we're going to check the bulbs here. So now we know that this branch is a problem. Somewhere on this branch is a problem bulb. I've got my hand under the branch here to support it, and it also helps give it a little bit better signal as we're scanning. So the first bulb, power, power, no power. So the problem bulb is on this side of the branch. So now I'm going to remove a bulb here, and as I look at this bulb, I can tell this particular bulb looks like it has a twisted wire. So I'm just straightening out the wire. I'm going to put it in our bulb tester here to make sure it's okay. It is a good bulb. And when I put it back, I'm going to make sure that I put it back firmly, that everything is touching wires. And now you'll notice that all the light sets on these branches are now lit. Important to note that the Lightkeeper's audible voltage detector is designed to work on a non-working light set, not a working light set. Because in a working light set, you'll notice it's drawing down on the power. A non-working light set, you have 120 volts of current up to where the problem is, and it drops off dramatically. So that's the point to remember. This is the Lightkeeper Pro's audible voltage detector. Pre-lit trees are great because the light sets are put on professionally. You do not see the wires. But that gives us an additional challenge for the top of the tree because the branches are shorter and the wiring is very, very close to the base. So we're going to show you how to use the audible voltage detector to narrow down where the source of the problem is. So first, we press down the black button on top of the Lightkeeper Pro audible voltage detector, and we start at the first level. We can't see the wires, but we're going to do layer by layer of the bulbs. The beeping tells you there's current going through that bulb. I'm going to move along around the tree. And everywhere that I hear beeping, there is current. And I'm working next layer, next level, no power. So we know that the power has gone up this high and then stopped. So we back up and we're going to go across and listen. No power. So we're going to start here, and it's one of the next several bulbs that would be the source of the problem. So I pull out this bulb here. I'm going to test this, make sure the wires are straight, because that sometimes is a problem. I'm going to put this in our bulb tester. Make sure it lights. It does. I'm going to put this back in. And when I get this back in, you'll notice now the top of the tree is lit. Everything's great. If you see any unlit bulbs, this would be a great time to replace them. But right now, your tree's back to its beautiful state. I'd like to give you some tips on using the Lightkeeper Pro's audible voltage detector. The first one is that it's meant to be used on a non-working light set only, not a working light set. I have a set here that we can practice on, but if you notice, this one's lit, and oftentimes, even though you hold down the audible voltage detector, you may not get a reading on a lit bulb. Again, that's because it's only designed to be working on a non-working light set. So I'm going to remove a bulb here and make this a non-working light set. Step number one. Step number two, we're going to set a scanning distance to listen to where we pick up a current. Now, if you notice here, that beeping tells you there's current, and you'll notice that I'm getting on all the wires leading up to where I removed the bulb at this socket. After that bulb socket, you hear nothing all the way through. You had current up to the socket, nothing afterwards. That will be the source of your problem. Another way to confirm that is I can stretch out the wires, making sure I don't actually hold the bulb socket in my hand because I can act as a ground. And I'm going to put the tip of the Lightkeeper Pro, power going on this side of the socket into it, but no power leaving it because we needed that bulb to be making a connection to allow current to get through the entire set. Very important. Now, if the polarity of this was changed by reversing the plug in the outlet, we will get just the opposite reading, meaning that the power will be detected coming from, not from this area, but coming from the other. So if I come down here, I'm going to set my scanning distance, just above here. Power, no power. You notice it's just the opposite. So power can either come from either side. What you're looking for with the voltage detector is power reading on one side of a bad bulb and no beeping on the other side. Second tip, if you notice that you have black bulbs, that means that they're burned out. This happens if you haven't replaced the bulbs over the years, and at this point in time when they become black, the only solution would be to replace all your bulbs. Important to replace your bulbs as you notice they burn out during the season. That's a tip on the Lightkeeper Pro's audible voltage detector.